What up, y'all? Welcome back to Rolling the Bottom. I'm your guy, Zach Moore. We're back. Another episode. Today is actually Christmas Day. It's approximately 8:37 right now on Christmas Day. Going to bring you guys some content. This is some news I need to clear up on. I want to give you my takes on. It's some old news, maybe 3 or 4 days old. Not all of it's that old, but just it's a little bit of a mix and everything. We haven't really got anything new since, Christmas. I'm looking forward to giving you guys some my opinions on some stuff, and so yeah, let's get into it. First topic: Cheddar Scratch Kitchen has extended their enhanced its relationship with Richard Childress Racing and Kyle Busch and the No A Team as a part of a multi-race partnership. Multi-year, a big deal for RCR and Kyle Busch. Lucas Oil just extended their sponsorship partnership with them, and now Cheddar's is a big time sponsorship, big time brand. I think they're a Fortune 500 company. I forget what owns them. They're like a branch to a bunch of other restaurants. So this is a big time sponsor. I think the marketing and their whole marketing with Cheddar's and RCR they've done a really good job marketing. I think if Kyle Busch wins a race, you get a free number 8 meal on I think Monday when he wins. So that's really cool. That's like a good, cool sponsorship, type like endorsement thing, whatever you want to call that. So good stuff for RCR and Kyle Busch. Next topic. So Joey Logano, he talked about how NASCAR fans are spoiled. Well, it got a lot of buzz, and there got a lot of people talking. Well, he came back on and decided to clarify his whole NASCAR fans are spoiled. He was back on he has a little segment on SiriusXM, NASCAR radio on SiriusXM, and there's a clip. It's about 2 minutes long. I'm going to show you the whole clip, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. So enjoy.
I was saying that, boy, we as race fans, and I'm including myself, don't have much room to complain on that subject. Is it hard being a race fan from other standpoints? 100%. Weather, always a challenge, no doubt. Cost of being a race fan is expensive. Camping, hotels, tickets, it's not cheap to go to a NASCAR race. 100%. It's not easy to be that. But I will say that we give great access to our fans, and it's unfortunate, and it was pretty frustrating to hear where this went, because I feel like I try to do so much for the sport. Because I love it and I care about the people in it. That's why I'm on the Driver Advisory Council, because I want to make it better for everybody. I don't get paid to do that. I do it because I think I want to make it better for the next generation of not just racers, but race fans. And so I do this. I do the show. I did 20 plus fan appearances away from the racetrack last year. So when I heard what some other undereducated people saying about what I am and what I do and attacked me, it was really frustrating and made me mad. And I thought, well, I probably need to clear this up. The bottom line is I love my race fans. I love all race fans. And the facts are we give great access. I might not be able to meet every single race fan that's at the racetrack. It's impossible for me. I can't do it. But I get as many as I possibly can. And I do a lot of appearances away from the racetrack that fans are able to come to, the public fans, not like special access stuff, right? Like anybody can come and meet me and say hello and do all that. And a lot of the race car drivers do that.
Listening to what Joey Logano said. So he kind of starts off where us fans have no room to argue about the subject of, giving us race fans giving access or not giving us access. And the weird thing is, I never understand where this whole argument came from about how much access race fans have. I don't think a fan has ever complained about not getting enough access, or if fans don't get close enough to their drivers. I thought this was just like, it was just a clip from SiriusXM, so they must have had this conversation must have led into like this topic, but I don't understand the whole point on like when this ever became a big issue, right? But then he talks about how it's hard to be a race fan, which it is. It's expensive to do a race, especially if you're a big family, 4 or 5 people. If you're traveling, far away, multiple hours where you have to get a hotel room, that's expensive. especially depending on what you have, and food. Nice thing is you can bring your own food in, so the cost may not be as big for that. You got to pay for ticket, gas, all those other things. So it's not cheap to go on a race, right? For a large group of people. And then he talks about, he's on the NASCAR driver advisory program. I don't know what that program fully is, but, it's definitely probably to help make how we can help make things better, I guess, as drivers can help make things better, right? So that's all great, right? Awesome. But then he, talks about, the people that were commenting or, questioning, arguing with his take were uneducated people. I felt like the person that had the strongest argument to this whole thing was Brent Griffin on the Door Bumper Clear podcast. He said how the access compared today to what it was when he was maybe in the sport or multiple years ago is way less. I mean, I guess he was talking about how drivers don't do as many appearances, right? And Joey did talk about how he does 20 plus more appearances, right? So that's all great stuff. But he makes it seem that Joey's whole take was how fans get they're spoiled with all his access and stuff. And then he also says how he loves our race fans, and he may not be able to see every fan, but he tries his hardest, right? So I feel like he tries to almost downplay what he said and make it seem like what he said wasn't what he really meant, or to me, I felt like he was bashing these race fans for some reason, or taking a shot at for all they're spoiled for some reason. I felt like he was just wrong in saying that. It's like he was mad at race fans for some reason because of this. Freddie Kraft replied to this clip and he said nothing was taken out of context. He got called out for a poor choice of words. He regrets what he said and is attempting to walk it back, which is completely understandable. I still don't think he understands that average fans have little to no access to drivers. Average fans. The average fans don't have much access to drivers. Me, if I buy a grandstand ticket, that's the last thing I'm thinking about, meeting a driver. I'm never thinking about doing that. I may see a driver do an appearance, but me getting the opportunity to meet that driver and get an autograph, very little. There's so many of our fans out there that you're just not going to have. There's always so many drivers doing appearances, especially if you're just going Sunday. Maybe if you're there for the whole weekend, you may have a little more opportunity, but the average fan ain't going to have that much of a chance. So I just think Joey Logano was trying to downplay what he said, but he said NASCAR fans are spoiled, and then here he's just saying how he loves his fans and stuff, which I think he does. I just think he taking a jab at them for some reason. So I do think he was wrong in this. I don't know why this is ever a issue or a big topic, but yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's get to the next topic. Hendrick Motorsports came out with some paint schemes this past week. They showed their new William Byron schemes, Exalta, Raptor, right? Well, there's this big talk because the way the paint schemes look, there's parts of solid colors in the corner panels, and William Byron's Raptor scheme was to me the most noticeable. The front hood, it has this big old black spot. It's just weird. It looks like I don't know what it looks like. It's just black, just solid color there. It just ruins the whole paint scheme. Why would you not have green to follow that up with the black trim or whatever? And then you also got back in the quarter panels is all black. The black quarter panels. It just looks weird. It's why are you ruining your paint scheme as this? And the reason I'm saying this is because Ryan Pastana, hope I'm saying his last name right, he tweeted something about this. Scheme designs to cheat the OSS are ruining designs. Just sucks. So the OSS is the optical scanning station. So this is the method they use to, for pre-race inspection. Looks like Hendrick Motorsports thinks that they can cheat the system or find an advantage by putting a solid black color that's hard for maybe the scanner to read. I hate the way the scanner works. I'm not saying this is correct, but it's got a bunch of lasers at it, and I guess they can tell a computer if it's a corner panel is buffed out a certain way. If it's not in line with the rules, it could go red or something, right? So maybe this is a way to, mess with the system. And, I guess they could somehow, if they wanted to modify the nose on a corner panel, because those are both very sensitive parts when it comes to the aerodynamics of the car, that they could get an advantage somehow from. So it just looks ridiculous. I would feel like NASA would be able to find a way they would maybe catch this somehow, but very interesting stuff. It just stinks though, because, pacings are a very important thing for, fans, fan recognizing that one car. Oh, hey, that 24 Raptor scheme is winning Byron, right? It's, people buy die-cast these things, and now I feel like they're getting ruined by teams trying to cheat the system. So it just stinks. Hopefully, maybe NASCAR can, chop down on this and not let this happen. But we'll see. Last topic. This is an article from Matt Weaver talking about how NASCAR teams are getting burnt out. Employees of the teams are having a hard time wanting to work these long seasons, these grinding seasons. If I look at like the Cup Series, it's got about 38 weeks, right? Not many off weeks there. It's like one off week this past year. Next year it'll be 2 because the Olympic break, back to back. It's a hard grind, and also the off season's really short. 3.5 months, right? So I guess teams are just having a hard time hiring people. And this whole debate started with what Pete Piston said. This is what he said on X. Understand many Cup and Xfinity Series teams are having a tough time filling positions, and internally with burnout factor becoming a more of a tangible challenge over the length of season. One principal believes it's even reached the level of drivers not wanting to commit to full seasons. Whether or not a full-time driver is going to not commit because it's a hard grind, I don't know. I think a lot of those drivers have goals and dreams to get into that whole top level. I don't see a Cup full-time driver giving up because I think the money's pretty good in Cup. They're not going to give up a full-time opportunity because the season's such a long grind. But no, this is a big deal because these mechanics, engineers, and office people. These are what run the teams. If they're not happy and they're tired, you're going to have a hard time running your team well and efficiently, and everyone being happy, right? And a lot of this, from Pete Piston's comment, a lot of this started discussion. A lot of people tweeted back to this tweet. So I just want to read like a few about this subject. But Parker Kligerman, who's a driver for Big Machine Vodka Racing, over the last few years, the common response I've gotten from engineers and mechanics is one I learned from a late friend of mine: work-life balance. 40 plus weeks of trial demands serious dedication to love car racing, going in circles and working on them. Another one was from Matt Tiff, who's an owner and driver for Live Fast Racing. The issue rising is for how long and intense the season is. There are fewer and fewer people who want to commit when you have guaranteed time off and can see your families and have more home time with equal or better pay, working for bigger corporations, dealerships, Amazon, etc. So now there's 2 tweets. It just talks about how it's hard. It's a dedication. It's a grind. You have to love this sport, and right now to want to commit to all 40 plus weeks to this sport, to work on this sport. And Matt Tiff brings up a great point how these people could be making maybe more in the same money and have more guaranteed time off. With these bigger corporations like Amazon, UPS, these package delivering companies, right? And I think it's hard for teams because people want to see their families. These men and women who work so hard for these teams want to be able to have that guaranteed time to see their families, right? But the season's such a grind. It's so hard. And I guess right now, just NASCAR must not have a great overall ecosystem or financial situation, or the economics of the teams aren't as great. They're not making enough money. Maybe sponsorship is not as great as it used to be. So I think teams are also having a hard time finding the money. And also find maybe the right employees to work for their teams. But also there's one interesting thing is about this new car, the next gen car. It's a Lego set, right? It's a kit car. It's a puzzle. You just put it together and boom, there the car is. They're not building these cars from scratch. They're not manufacturing their own parts, pieces. It's all they're just buying the parts and building the car, right? Well, I did want to read a couple about a couple of people that said about that topic. While there's a lot of stuff to be said regarding pay and schedules, a lot of it comes down to the rules not making it fun anymore. If you're at the shop, there's hardly anything you can do to make a difference to the cars anymore, which is like the main reason to work there. Engineers like solving problems. Racing is full of problems, but when you're told that you aren't allowed to solve your own problems, then what's the point anymore? NG develops what was incredibly frustrating because of that. It could have been It could have been fun if the reins were looser. That was from Alex Ripstein. Another one was from Burl. I used to take flat pieces of sheet metal and make fenders and quarters, panels, and such like these. I miss those days. Haven't touched an English wheel or a welder in over 2 years, and 2 years ago we didn't use any English wheel like we did back then, back when I took these photos. So it just talks about these employees that have built these skill sets to build these cars. It's that those skill sets aren't really needed anymore. Those people that work so hard for these, they can't use those anymore because the way this car, it's like a kit car, right? So I think team builders just don't have as much fun anymore because they're not building these cars. They're not being able to use their skill sets to help build the car fast, make the car faster or better, make it a better machine, right? And for me, I don't hate the next gen car. I like the next gen car. I think it's cool, right? Because when I'm a fan, I want it to be, as a NASCAR fan. I mean, you can criticize me all you want about my take, but I want NASCAR to be. I want it to be considered. Hey, it's the talent of the drivers that make the car go faster. It's not the car, which probably isn't really true because you need a fast. You need a fast horse, right? You need a fast car to be able to do the things you want on the racetrack successfully, right? You need a great team behind you to be good on the racetrack. So there's a lot of other things besides just a driver. But I still want that talent of a driver aspect to be one of the most important parts to winning races and to being a great team. I want the driver to be a very big important thing. So yes, these are interesting topics. Hopefully, we need these people. We need these people to be happy. We need them to love their jobs. We need to hire the people that are passionate about the sport. And they're also very good for the sport and are also good engineers and mechanics and good for the offices, right? All interesting stuff. Just going to give them my opinions. You can critique me and what I'm saying. These are just my opinions from a fan's point of view. But that's all I'm going to say about this episode and all this stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed. Plan to come out with some more content. I want to be a little more creative with my content instead of just going, hey, this and this was announced. I'm going to give you my takes. I kind of also want to talk about, I plan to do a playoff, my playoffs picks, way too early picks, who I think the top 16 drivers will be in the playoffs. So stay tuned to that. The news has come out a little slower, but we're like a month away from the Clash, and the season's right around the corner. So looking forward to it, excited for it. Hope you guys are too. I'll see you in the next video. Hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'm out.